We're going to learn more about some other methods or useful tools available for string variables. So we'll learn about index of, that which returns the index where that letter or a substring of that string exists. Let's print or find out what is the character at index 3. So here I'm going to use str2 and pressing that operator, and as you see here is a method or a tool called charAt. So I'm going to use that one, and it needs a value of type integer, and as you see the return type, what we're going to be returned as a result of calling this method, is a character. So what is the character at location 3? So again, I'm using a semicolon, but also I'm gonna assign it to a variable of type character. So character, let's call it, for example, which, and that's gonna be the name of the variable, and we're gonna see what's gonna be at location 3. Again, we're gonna test that program. That's all the time we do, printing our code by printing the actual value. So System.out print ln, and I'm gonna print which. And again, let's add some spices to our code. I'm going to write the character at index 3, which is equal to this which here. And I'm going to run the program one more time, and we're going to see the output. As you see, the character at index 3 is equal to D, which is correct. So if A is a location or index 0, B is a location 1, C is a location 2, and D is at index or location 3, which is exactly correct. So you might ask, okay, what if I'm gonna print or get all the characters of that string? So for example, print A, print B, C, D, and up to the F. That's something that will be covered shortly, which is about the loop structures. But before going there, we're gonna learn more about string methods. So one other method which we're going to talk about is the substring method. So because it is a substring, so that means that we're going to cut or choose a part of the string that we're dealing with. And I'm going to call, for example, sub, and again that's going to be coming from this str2, and I'm going to use a method called substring. It has two versions. One of them only takes one parameter or one value of type integer, which says where should I start picking or selecting the string. The other one says what is the start index and what is the last index, or where is the beginning, or where is the range of the string that I'm gonna cut. So let's choose both of them. I'm gonna say start at index 2 to the very end. So here is index 2, which is 0, 1, and 2. So C is the very first letter that will be part of the substring. And because I have not mentioned any end, it will go to the very end of the string. So my expectation is the sub to be C, D, E, and F. Again, let's test it by using the System.out.println, and here is the sub. So let's run our program one more time and see the result and make sure it's correct. As you see here, C, D, E, F. Again, let's just have some more information about what we have printed. So we're going to say substring starting at index 2. And I think that's going to be a better presentation of what we just did. So here C, D, E, and F is the output or the value of the sub. Let's try and use other version of that method. So I'm going to say sub range. Maybe that's a good name for this variable. So str2, and I'm going to call the substring one more time. So here I'm going to say start index 1 and end at index 4. So my expectation is to start from B and ends at index 4, but not including. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So CD is the expectation. So let's use the System.out println, and let's print subrange. Also add some more explanation to what we're printing, which will be equal to substring from index 1 to index 4. Let's put the equal sign here, and now let's run the file. As you see here, B, C, and D are printed, not E and F. As again, although E is the index 4, but index 4, as I said, is excluded, is not part of the string. So B, C, and D are printed. So far we have learned about the index of method, a tool available for strings. We'll learn about the charAt method, and also we learn about the substring method, which gives us like a range of strings available in that string. Yet another useful method for string variables is the length method. So you want to know that what is the length of the string that you're dealing with. And we're going to see later that this method will be used a lot when we are actually processing the strings. That method is called the length. So I'm going to just this time print System.out println, and I'm going to print the length of the str2 method without actually assigning that length to a variable. So here I'm going to write str2 dot and length. Don't forget to put a pair of parentheses here. So as you see, we don't need all the time to define a variable and to store the length in that variable and then print that variable. You can just actually use this one directly here, because what it does here, the str2.length, it returns an integer, which is a value. So we can print a value here. So I'm going to say the length of str2, and then put the equal sign here. Again, this is like the part of a character. And then I'm concatenating the length of the str2, which is going to be 6, and it's going to be printed. So let's run the file one more time and see that. As you see, the length of the str2 string is equal to 6.